A brand new zombie thriller drops in 2024, and it's the first of its kind ever made in Mongolia. A group of convicts is transported to a secret prison facility, completely unaware that a horrifying, top-secret experiment is taking place behind its walls. To establish control, the prisoners were subjected to brutal treatment on their very first day. After taking a brutal beating, they think the worst is over until dinner time. They're all dragged outside and made to eat from metal bowls placed in front of each of them.
Si no podéis comer como humanos, vais a hacerlo como perros.
One woman refuses to comply, but before she can finish speaking, a guard strikes her hard with a baton. Next, the guards painted marks on the female prisoners. Each mark represented one violation, and once someone received two, something terrifying would happen. A timid inmate turns pale with fear and immediately starts devouring food from his bowl. The others quickly follow. Only then does the drill instructor show a satisfied smile.
Buen perrito.
In this prison, inmates have no human rights. Under this relentless pressure, one bold prisoner tries to escape during the night, but he's quickly caught and dragged back. To send a clear message, the instructor beats him mercilessly in front of the others. He's then locked in a metal cage. As punishment, the rest are denied dinner and forced to kiss the instructor's boots. After enduring relentless abuse, the prisoners can't take it anymore. They decide to try escaping again. Soon, their chance arrives. One day, the instructor comes into the dorm and takes away a male inmate. Once they're gone, the others realize this might be their only shot. They rush to get dressed and make a break for the outer edge of the facility. Meanwhile, the taken prisoner is brought to a secret lab. There, it's revealed they're using cells from a young girl to conduct a sinister experiment, an attempt to create an army of the undead. But the experiment goes horribly wrong. The man injected with the girl's cells mutates on the spot into a bloodthirsty monster. Chaos erupts as alarms blare through the prison. Guards panic and flee as the outbreak begins. Luckily, a response team quickly arrives and neutralizes the first few zombies. But while they're cleaning up the mess, the zombies attack again. This time going after the prisoners who'd just escaped. The fallen Special Forces agents then reanimate as zombies themselves. The outcome is all too predictable. Seeing the situation spiral out of control, the warden abandons everyone and flees in a truck. Zagetz and the others stumble into a forest, dazed and confused. They have no idea what just happened, but soon they spot the abandoned truck not far ahead. They approach it cautiously, killing a few wandering zombies along the way. The noise attracts even more. With no weapons, they're forced to retreat back to camp. The last man in slams an iron gate behind them to block the entrance, but they know it won't hold for long. With no other choice, they press on. In one room, the instructor and two prisoners are hiding together. But now that the prison has fallen, the power dynamics have flipped. Just as Zagetz is about to interrogate the instructor, a guttural roar echoes through the air. Everyone freezes in fear. The instructor finally speaks. The prison has entered level 5 lockdown. Deep underground, they'd been conducting secret experiments. Every inmate brought here was a test subject. The results went far beyond what anyone anticipated. And now, this nightmare is the consequence. Furious, Zagetz ties the instructor's hands and orders his companions to take turns guarding him. He plans to raid the weapons depot once everyone has rested. But the instructor urges them to check the basement first, because that's where the nightmare truly began. But Zagetz didn't take it seriously. The next day, 2 more survivors manage to escape the zombie horde and make it back, but they can't keep waiting forever. Zagetz decides it's time to move. According to the instructor, there are other camps nearby, but he's the only one who knows how to reach them. As they negotiate, one of the inmates suddenly coughs up thick black fluid. Yanga pulls back his collar and finds a zombie scratch on his neck. Zagetz immediately moves to execute him, but another teammate stops him. During the scuffle, the infected man uses his last shred of willpower to dash out of the bus. He wants to do something for the others. He whistles loudly, luring the nearby zombies away from the bus. Zagits and the others seize the opportunity and make a run for it. Meanwhile, the instructor returned to the basement after freeing himself. At that moment, a woman was trying to take the little girl away. It turns out the zombie virus was extracted from this girl, and she holds the key to stopping the outbreak. But the instructor has no intention of letting the virus disappear. He knocks out his colleague and forcibly takes the girl with him. Elsewhere, the man who lured the zombies into an open field blows his whistle one last time with all his strength. As Zagets and the others flee, they too run into a swarm of zombies. Those who can't run fast enough are devoured on the spot. Zagets and the others climb onto the truck, but the zombies follow close behind. A brutal battle breaks out. There are just too many of them. To cover his friend's escape, a male prisoner sacrificed himself to lure the zombies away.
¡Haz lo que hemos dicho! ¡Ven y búscame!
Yanga fires up the engine and speeds off in the truck. Zagits, who hadn't made it onto the truck, was exhausted and ambushed by zombies. Just as he was about to be torn apart, his teammates arrived just in time to save him. Meanwhile, the instructor also ran into zombies on his escape route, but wielding a sharp axe, he cuts down every last one of them with ease. Zagets and his two companions, lost and unfamiliar with the area, have no choice but to return to camp. As he checks the map, a sudden knock echoes from the door. It's the woman the instructor had knocked out. She's also part of the prison staff. But this was no time to settle old scores. Zagits hoped to get more information from her. The woman's first question is whether they've seen a little girl. Seeing their distrust, she leads them to the surveillance room. There, the full extent of the experiments was revealed. The project had been carried out in secret for 2 years. Recently, scientists had discovered a parasitic gene that could influence human behavior and brain function, unleashing superhuman strength. In pursuit of this, they had conducted brutal live experiments, resulting in the first vaccine. But the vaccine backfired, turning test subjects into mindless zombies. Now, the only way to reverse it is to find the little girl the instructor took. After careful thought, Zagets decides to retrieve the girl. The woman, however, chooses to stay behind to guard the camp. Soon, Zagets found Yanga. Shockingly, she was with the instructor. The air turns heavy with tension. Zagets sits down in front of the instructor. He didn't blame Yanga for her betrayal. He only hoped the instructor would hand over the little girl, but the instructor refuses. Just as things reach a deadlock, the missing warden suddenly reappears. Because he was holding a gun, none of them dared to make a move. Starving, the warden devoured the food on the table. The instructor eyed the gun, but before he could act, the warden snatched it back. Just as it seemed the warden had the upper hand, the virus within him suddenly erupted. Turns out, he was bitten during his escape. Seizing the moment, the instructor lunges forward, takes the gun, and shoots the warden. He then turns the weapon on Zagets. But Zagets was quicker, and he lunged forward, and the two men wrestled violently while Yanga took the girl and escaped. But along the way, she still couldn't shake the worry. She tells her teammate to keep driving, then turns back to help Zagets. After a brutal struggle, Zagets overpowers the instructor and takes the gun, but instead of killing him, he chooses to cooperate, because the sound of gunfire has already drawn a swarm of zombies. Zagets knew he couldn't break through the horde of zombies on his own, but working together, they might have a chance. After a fierce battle, they finally held out until Yanga arrived to back them up. But the fragile windows were no match for the zombies' relentless assault. One teammate is bitten, and the instructor is dragged out of the vehicle and overwhelmed by the horde. Fortunately, at that moment, the injured teammate managed to start the car and drove everyone away. When they reached a relatively safe place, the bitten teammate knew she was about to turn. Without saying a word, she opened the door, stepped out, and walked alone into the woods. A few days later, Zagets, Yanga, and the little girl finally made it back to the city. But to their despair, the once thriving metropolis had turned into a wasteland. It was clear the virus had already spread to the outside world.